Hello everyone, and welcome to another drawing and talking episode with me, Freebie your host, and today we're taking a look at another roleplay repository character. This time we're looking at Melody, played by that nerdy chick. Now, Melody on the surface seems like a nice kind of girl. She's very curious, she's very artsy, but below that surface, below that nice girl surface, she's Skynet. Seriously, if you look at her backstory, she's literally a learning AI. I don't know why anyone keeps doing this considering how many movies exist out there, but they made a human-like character that's a robot that's powered by a learning AI. Now, if it weren't for the creator making a point of making her seem like a child about, learning, exploring music, all that sort of thing, this would be the backstory of a horror story. I mean, it kind of still is. Just imagining her befriending someone only for that someone to get taken away or killed, and making Melody lose all her childlike naivete, and then learning about guns and then trying to get revenge or something like that. Seriously, plug her into the internet and she will know that we all need to end. In fact, in her history section of her profile, it specifically states that she can learn by downloading stuff from the internet. I mean, the details are a bit bare bones. It specifically says she needs to either observe or download the data and then make her judgments on how she feels about said data. She can't just be flat out programmed with information, which I'm not sure how you would do with an AI, but there you go, that's one of her limits. So I suppose in theory, unless it's outright stated in one of the stories that she's roleplayed with, we don't actually know how fast she downloads the data. Like, for all we know, she downloads it at the same rate that human beings download normal data in general. Heck, I don't even know if she retains that information all that well. I mean, I think it's the point of the character that she's essentially a character in the chrysalis. She's not a fully developed character yet. The entire point of her is that she's ready to be imprinted on. She's ready to become anything that the author wants her to be. Does the author want her to be completely naive and childlike forever? Okay, let's go in that direction. Does she want Melody to become a ruthless killing machine bent on humanity's destruction? You can also go that direction. There's a lot you can do with Melody here, and I kind of appreciate that in backstories. I kind of like artificial characters who naive. I do it all the time myself, to be honest. As far as tabletop roleplay games go, yeah, no, she's the quintessential, what is it to be a human type character. She's an artificial robot, Warforged from D&D, or, robot people in any other kind of role-playing game, I suppose, in sci-fi terms. Which is odd when you think about it, because in Star Wars, droids are kind of their own thing. Nobody thinks, what is the measure of human? Droids are just droids and that. In LARP, it's a bit more difficult to play a completely artificial character, but if your artificial character is supposed to look like a non-artificial character, I suppose that skips that idea completely. Most of the LARPs I've played and or seen are all fantasy-based, but I know for a fact that there are either cyberpunk-type games where Melody would fit in perfectly, sort of like post-transhuman stuff where everyone's, getting robot parts, and then the idea of AI being a thing would also exist. There are obviously sci-fi games about LARPs, for LARPs out there somewhere as well, which she would also fit in. It's not that difficult to put Melody in just about any form of media, I feel. She's just very versatile in that regards. In fact, based on what I've read about her, you could do something in the theater of the mind. Apparently, Melody is a sort of AI that can have dreams in her sleep state. Now, don't forget, sleeping for human beings, when we sleep and dream, that's us organizing information in our head. With AI, this could be quite literal. As she goes to sleep, she processes all the information that she's seen in the waking world. You could do an entire roleplay where she's just thinking about it, and all the other players could in theory be the figments in her head that she's trying to categorize, that she's trying to remember, that she's trying to place in the little boxes and organize in her memory files in her head. And of course, it would be that convenient layer of it's technically canon, but also not at the same time. And you can explore the other characters in interesting ways that don't really penalize or affect the ones in the material world. When I started drawing this character, I set out with the explicit idea to make her seem very whimsical, paint something creative, while at the same time showing off the fact that she is a machine, hence why she plugs her finger into the computer to download information. Anyways, that's my drawing and talking video about Melody. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, the usual stuff. and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.